Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Talks Live. I am Roger Wakefield coming to you live from, again, the Bahamas. As you can see over Randy's shoulders. Man, I don't know what it is about my room. I can't get enough light in here that you can see me when I open my curtains up. I mean, somehow, some way. There we go. Yeah, when I open my curtains up, I go completely away. So
I know I have a lamp right here.
I know. I moved mine over here. I've got another one right here. It's not quite enough in front of me. And see, now I messed it up to where I had it dark. Anyway, if you've never been here before, welcome to the show. Glad that you're here. We talk the trades. We talk all the trades, and I'll fix that here in a second. Matter of fact, Randy, you do the introduction. I'll fix this real quick.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, we get to talk trades each and every day, Monday through Friday here at the Trade Talks. And we love what we get to do. And we know that not enough people talk about trades. And that's why we started this show, so that we can talk every single trade in a bunch of different aspects of the trades also. We look at websites, we talk about national news, we talk about some of the safety, materials, equipments, and tools, new things that are coming out on the horizon, social media, business growth, mindset growth, things like that. And everybody, good morning. Glad that you could show up today. Happy hump day. It's all downhill from here. That's the best part.
Well,
I am Henry Wakefield, 20-year pipe fitter by trade.
You say all downhill from here. That's not true. We're in the Bahamas. We got to head back to the United States tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to do.
I know. Yeah. And that is going to feel like an uphill climb tomorrow. But, hopefully for everybody else out there, it is downhill.
That's right. We will find a way to make it. So I'm Roger Wakefield. I've been plumbing for, since 1980, 45 years. Yeah, it's time to quit broadcasting, isn't it?
It's time to turn my sounds on.
That's it. But guys, look, we do this because we believe in teaching people that if you get up every day for 30 minutes to an hour and study your niche, you can move up into the top 5% of your industry. And we thought, you know what if we put something together that actually helped people do that? We talk about different topics. We've got 11 different topics that we cover over the next hour. But we want you to get involved too. If you've got questions, comments, or anything, please jump in, put what you've got down there. We'd love to hear it. And if you've already subscribed, ring the bell down at the bottom, hit the notification button. That way you get notified whenever we go live. Now, if you want to learn to do what we do, I created a webinar because I have people tell me all the time, I can't do YouTube because. Well, I made a webinar kind of debunking all those myths. So if it's something you're interested in, if you're interested in YouTube, social media, any of it, start here. Go check this out at www.justmattroger.com and let me know your thoughts about it.
That's it. And everybody, we would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. I always suggest checking out the complete kit. It's a business in a box. It comes with both pieces of equipment for the outdoor and the indoor use. You can check that out at www.leak-pro.com. But also, guys, if you want to talk about that or talk about how I can walk you through and train you how to do leak detection, how to promote it for your business, things like that, give me a call because I do a 2-day training. Call me at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, and I'd be happy to discuss that with you.
I love that. I want to give a special shout out to Kevin Hawthorne. Brother, how you doing? Good to see you in here again from Lakeland, Florida. And we will be in Lakeland. Well, we'll be in Florida tomorrow. You for a very little bit of time.
Yeah,
me a little bit longer. Yeah, me a little bit longer. I'll hit Orlando, then head to Fort Lauderdale, and then I got to work there and then be getting out of there. So anyway, let's jump into the national news. Summer 2025 sees significant rise in commercial construction spending. Now, Randy and I get to travel a lot, so we get to see the cranes everywhere. And it's funny because whenever we fly into these cities, we're always looking around. And man, when you see cranes on the horizon, you're like, hey, look, this is good. There's work going on. But construction spending in commercial sectors increased by nearly 9% compared to the summer of 2024, driven by office remodels. Guys, we're getting more and more people back in those offices that have been empty for a while. Retail expansions and warehouse construction. So there's a lot of different opportunities out there. But office space renovation projects surged due to remote work adjustments. All these companies have finally said, hey guys, look, that thing is over. Come back to the office. We know you can work remotely, but we see the benefits of having you here in a team like environment. And I think that's huge. And then retail and warehouse spaces are experiencing expansion driven by e commerce growth. So there's a lot of opportunity coming up in the commercial sector. And we know the residential's booming, we know it's growing. God, even industrial, Randy, we hear so much stuff about data centers, industrial. Look, the world's growing, and it does it on the shoulder of blue collar workers.
That's it. You know, like we were in a deal today and there was a young man in there talking, and he's looking for a new place because the business he started, he's doing it in his living room. What's he looking for now? A warehouse so that he can expand. And guess what that's going to take, guys? Blue collar workers to build that space or to remodel an existing space. Either way, it is going to take tradespeople to go out and help them accomplish the goals that they want. And that's why we promote blue collar so much, because for all the offices to be there, somebody has to build the building, guys. And that's what we're here to do.
It's not a bad deal. The cool thing is if contractors want to grow in the commercial side, or say you're already in it and you're just like, look, how do we get more work? Prioritize your bidding strategies. Figure out your workload. How can you allocate the people that you have? Or do you need to hire more people to do the work that you're wanting to look at? Because looking at that, figuring that out, and looking at it ahead of time is really what's going to give you the opportunity to do that. But Randy, you've done probably more commercial bidding here lately, and seeing what's going on. I mean, you've done all commercial, and for the last probably 7 years I've been in residential.
Yeah.
What do you see? What's the benefits of commercial work and bidding more of it?
And like, I like residential, you know, that's where I kind of started out, was residential home building for new neighborhoods. That's a great thing. I like commercial projects because it's an allotted time. It's a long duration. It's not just, oh, we're going to go out there. Yeah, we're going to do this roughing in a day. We're done. Okay, we're going to come back in a week and we're going to do the top out in a day and we're out. Oh, then we're going to have to come back and set fixtures a couple days after they finish the building. That's cool. It's a long schedule, but it's just few spots in between. Commercial projects starting out, they're going to be small like that. You're just going to have a couple days here and there in between to do it as the job progresses. But large jobs, and that's what I learned at the large company, was we would always have what we called our core projects, jobs where we could have 50 to 100 guys going, because all these small projects that we like to do are great. But whenever there is a lull in those small projects like residential, while you're waiting on the next part and piece to move so you can come in, you've got a commercial project out there that you can go burn some man hours on that are actually needed. So it's not a loss of production. It's the proper shifting of that labor, which is really good because it helps keep your crew going, keeps everybody working all the time, even during those slow times. Oh, I've got this commercial project out here we're working on, man. Let's send a couple of the guys out there and keep everything moving. So I like having a variety in the portfolio, not just one thing, because that's one of my favorites about commercial projects is the durations, the length of time, and you can really get some great crews built that way by being on some commercial projects instead of just jumping in all the time on residentials, even though you can have a really good crew there too.
I love it. Now we're going to talk about constructionjunkie.com, and Randy, I want you to talk and tell me, why did you pick this website to talk about?
Great. Man, so one of the cool things on here, man, there were some, like down there at the bottom. Hold on, let me.
I like all this.
Let me look at mine because I had it.
Oh, you got it pulled up too?
I did, yeah. And
well, I can stop sharing. You can have it.
I can't freaking find it right now. So you go ahead, you're fine. But there were some really cool things in there that were like weird construction projects, crazy construction videos, funny construction videos, something that we don't think about a lot. But like crazy videos, there's a deal they cover in there about crane collapses on a job site in Syracuse, New York. No injuries reported. But if you go in there, the picture is it's pretty wild to see. And that's something that I like to do is find some different ways to think outside of the box. There's a video in here. Oh, do you need to get some heavy equipment up a mountain? Try a cable
Wow.
car system. They're hauling equipment up on a cable car and dropping it off at the top of the mountain so that they can do the work and things. And getting to go to California a couple years ago for the Leak Pro thing, I went and climbed a mountain, and it's like, man, there's a whole mini city up here that this cable car comes up to. How do you get equipment up there? You can do it this way, or there's some roads that actually do go up to that specific mountain I was on. But think about that when you go to any of these ski resorts, things like that. How does everything get done at the top? You have to get something up there. Now, I know initially to get that cable car installed, you have to get some things up there physically the other way. But I think it's just really neat to kind of see some different aspects of it, not just, oh, hey, this is the right way to install it. This is the one way to think about your trade and your installations. And this actually just kind of opens some awareness of different things. And that's one of the things that I thought was really cool on this.
This is pretty cool. And I am I'm
Yeah,
looking down
there
those.
you are.
Oh, wow. Helicopter drops a cooling tower.
Oh, no. Yeah. Now that, not good.
No, that's pretty crazy. But there's a lot of neat stuff here, and I like it.
Look at them cranes.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. When we fly into places and see stuff like this, it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yes.
That tells you there's so much stuff going on. But this is great for staying ahead of industry shifts and discovering new technologies to boost job site efficiency. And there's always things to learn. And a lot of people don't get that. Pretty neat stuff.
Definitely so. And like, that's one of the things I've been pulling up some different intriguing websites here lately. That's not just that straight box of thinking. I know we've done a lot of forums and things like that. So I wanted to mix it up a little bit with something different today.
Pretty freaking cool. I like that. Okay, so we're going to roll over into business growth and diversifying your services. Should your company expand its offerings? And I'm going to tell you this because I've been in best practice groups. And if any of y'all are in a best practice group, do me a favor and just leave me a comment, send me a message, tell me what best practice group you're in, what you like about it and what you don't like about it. Because there's best practice groups out there that are literally teaching the same thing they were teaching 35 years ago. And I'm like, man, y'all got to get current and modern and up to date. That's why Randy and I are at the places that we're at. We're literally learning new things each and every day. They're like, oh my gosh, look what this can help us do for our businesses. So I love the mindset behind it. But if you're doing commercial and you're not doing residential service, I think you're leaving a ton of money on the table each and every day, because residential service to me is phenomenal. But diversity minimizes risk during the economic downturns. If you've got a great residential service company, and I remember talking to Grant one time, who's one of my best friends, helped me get into plumbing. And he told me that one of the companies, the reason he'd started out doing service, he worked for a big commercial company, but they also did residential service. The owner of the company told him that what they make in residential service pays for the entire company, pays for the labor, pays for the office, pays for overhead, pays everything. So literally, the commercial work was like, it's free money. It's a bonus check. That's what your growth is. So I love that. But it also helps you expand your client base and stabilizes income streams. If you've got, and Randy and I talk all the time about these companies that we work at, that literally, if we had a big job going, they would not bid anything else. They were afraid to get more work. And the problem is, when we finished a big job, we didn't have anywhere for people to go. Then they're on that roller coaster. Get a lot of work. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, we have nothing. Get a lot of work. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we have nothing. And it's just not a good way to do business. But one thing you can do is look at identifying complementary infinities. If you're a plumbing company, What if you bought an electrical company, an HVAC company, a roofing company, a garage door company? Now you've got growth. Now you're expanding. Now you market that plumbing company to all the other 4 companies. Now you market each one of them to your company and all the rest of them. Now you've got a complete package that you can give somebody for their home. Look, we don't just help you take care of your plumbing, we help you take care of your house. And to me, stuff like that is huge. But conduct market research before launching anything new and see what's out there. Go ahead, Squirt.
Well, so I've got a question here, and like this is kind of why I threw this in. So, like me and Abraham were talking the other day when he was out, and he specializes. His specialty is sewer replacements. Boom. Well, somebody was discussing with him they wanted him to come. They wanted to buy his company, let them add into their HVAC company or something, but they really want him to do all service work, plumbing at that point. He knows he is amazing at sewer line replacements. He knows the dig people. He knows the right people to go in and do the job. He knows exactly the full process and everything. So my question here is like that. Should he make that jump and expand to include all plumbing service? Yeah, he'll sell the specialty more. I guarantee it, because that's what he's known for.
You bet.
And adding on all the other, like we were kind of talking about it, and I'm like, man, I love adding services, yes, but if you are known and you are mainly called because you are so great at sewer replacements, do you expand too far?
You know, I think that you can expand too far. My thing is, if you've got a niche like that that you're really amazing at and you're crushing it, why change? Maybe grow. Maybe let more people know what you do. And I gave him some ideas the last time him and I talked. I said, look, if you can do it and make that kind of a profit margin, I would tell these bigger companies, hey, you sell it, I'll give you your 20% profit, and then I'll do the job for you. Straight off top. Because he says, look, Roger, I can make 40 to 50% profit. Okay.
Right.
Do it this way.
And that's their 20 and yours. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I like that.
So let them do it. It works. You still make your
That's
profit.
kind of where I went with him too. I was like, man, I don't know if I could take that deal personally, because if you know what you know so well,
yeah,
that can take you everywhere. But he won't get slow either, because guess what? All year long, people need sewer replacements. So that's why I kind of threw this one in. I was like, hey, this kind of feeds into some things that we've been doing lately. And I was curious. And I thought it was really neat, because there are times that, yes, you should expand your services, add things on, add some extra specialties, but don't go too far beyond your wheelhouse. If you want to, though, get somebody on your team that is their specialty too, and they know that world to help you advance more.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Take over for just a second. I'm trying to look up something else that I want to show here.
Go ahead. Okay, we'll move on to service work here. Optimizing routes for maximum service call profitability. And guys, it is so important to try to save miles, extra trips. Oh, back to this side of town. Oh, back over here. Oh, back over there where I started. That's a waste of time and money. And we know that time equates to even more money, especially when it's just wasted driving around town because, oh, you were already over there. Oh, but this lady called first. Well, that was a 30-minute service call, though. Go ahead and knock it out while you're on that side of town, and we'll get over there to Mrs. Johnson. No problem. Keep the things going. But like efficient routing is going to save fuel. It's going to reduce the wear and the tear on the vehicle. And that's major. But one of my favorite parts, it's going to maximize productivity, but it's going to lower your risk also. Because if you're doing multiple trips from one side of town to the other, we're from the Dallas area. Do you know how many opportunities of an accident that is for your vehicle? And guess what? A bad one, that shuts that vehicle down. So efficient routing is super important. There's a lot of softwares out there that can help do this now. So utilize some route optimization apps to help you keep everything tracked for the most productivity you can and less windshield time. Super important.
Okay, now I'm going to play devil's advocate here in a way, because if I'm in Fort Worth and you're in Dallas,
Mhm.
and we get a slab leak detection job in Dallas, and I'm better at selling the tunnel, the package, and whatnot, but I've got a toilet rebuild in Fort Worth, I would say, look, if Roger closes 80% of those jobs and Randy closes 40%, I'm going to send Roger to Dallas because that's a profitable job. And I'm going to send Randy to Fort Worth because it's not, but our odds are better of Randy closing it. So I would look at it that way. You've got to always dispatch for profits. You've got to understand how to do things right. Scheduling geographically is very smart, but you've got to also understand what your technicians do better than the other technicians.
Mhm.
And if you've got one that, man, look, when he goes in and talks to people, they're like, look, just do it. We understand. He's great at offering the financing. He's great at offering the options. He's great at explaining the value of why this should be done now and why we're the best company to do it. If I walk in and use a credibility statement, hey, I'm Roger, let me tell you why I work here, what we do, and why I continue to work here. And Randy just walks in and says, hey, man, look, I'm a great plumber. Let me find the problem. I've built more of a relationship, even though Randy may be a better plumber. Randy may do the job better. But at the end of the day, if I sell twice as much as Randy, I'd rather have Roger go into those jobs instead of Randy. Does it make sense to you?
Complete. Like, and I'm looking more logistically, not just thinking per person. And that is a great
you got to
point,
look at both.
because yes, that's it. Like, and the question for me, like on that one, is okay, it's a toilet rebuild. That's not going to take you long over there in Fort Worth to knock that out real
Right.
quick before you head over to do the leak detection. You sell that job,
But is it enough
you
time
get
they
to
need
head
to call,
back.
they feel like they need to call someone else?
Correct. Yeah, and that's true.
You know?
This is true. Yep.
So
I do. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
but the good thing doing it your way too, there's a company down in Austin that we know about that saved 18% on their fuel bill
Mhm.
by strategically using a software like this and saying, hey, what is the strategic way to hand these jobs out?
That's it. And like, that's why I like to think about the accident thing, because guess what?
Oh
You
yeah.
don't know how much an accident's going to cost. Nobody does until it happens. Then you get to find out after the fact. So, yep, I do. I like that, and it's something that you're going to have to look at in your business and figure out what's the best for you to do to make the most profit and keep it, because man, everybody's trying to get it.
Yeah. And that's it, guys. We all want these jobs. And sometimes if you tell me, hey, I can get there an hour before that other guy, okay, come on, let's go. I'm ready to get this done.
Yeah, I
So
can call and
sometimes,
cancel that guy, no problem. Yeah.
yeah, I can call and cancel them. They're not here yet. So, staying awake, looking at things like this, but also think about dispatching for profits. You've got to make sure that you're getting the right people on the job, not just to take care of it, but to help your company make the most money, to help possibly bring in enough work to keep everybody busy. Because at the end of the day, we've got to look at the whole big picture.
Yep.
MET, material, equipment, and tools, choosing durable building materials for extreme weather. Now, we're here in hurricane season.
We are.
We've seen some pretty severe weather here past couple of days.
We already have. Yes. I got caught up in it yesterday.
Yeah, lightning, thunder, severe thunderstorms. I mean, we've seen it all. Not the hurricane.
Hey, it was nice though, because like I love lightning. Just side note here, real quick.
Oh God, it's beautiful. Yes.
Watching that storm out over the ocean, off in the distance, because it wasn't here at the time, and it's just like, oh, I love it. Love seeing it, and no better place to do than on the beach to see it from far out.
I love that.
But yeah, durable materials so important. Like I didn't realize how many different materials there were until we started the water park. Because then when we got to do the water park, and it's like, oh, all these wood structures, and they're like, yeah, that's not wood. there's wood up there. This is all treated wood up here, for the roof and stuff. But no, everything that looks like wood down there, that's not wood. It's a form of plastic that looks like wood, that's stronger, that can handle all the chlorine in the air. And it's like, holy cow, didn't even think of that. So there's different things out there that can handle a lot of environments. And I guess I learned that kind of whenever I did a caustic area, and I had to use fiberglass, all thread, nuts and washers, Unistrut, all these things that were all built in fiberglass. And I'm like, wait, I've never seen this. And they're like, yeah, it's corrosive resistant. It can handle being in all this caustic stuff.
Clevis hangers, riser clamps, every bit of it.
Everything. Yeah. Like to see nuts and the fiber washers, I was going like, wait, what? This is going to hold up? Yeah, it's built right. It is solid. Don't worry. But there's a lot of corrosion resistant metals for coastal constructions and some of these alternatives that are coming out nowadays. We talk about a lot of lumber now that's just as strong as steel. Now, that's not going to do real good being near the water. I get that. But just some of these alternatives are really neat. Impact resistant windows and doors.
Okay, now, wait a minute.
Yep.
Why do you think the composite wood wouldn't be good near the ocean? Because there's going to be no rust.
Well, that's true, but water, wood typically never goes good together unless it's sealed right and all that stuff. Yeah, I know.
Kind of composite wood's made out of plastics, not wood. And like you said, it says strong or stronger than steel. Because the first time you said that, I thought, man, that'd be great down by the ocean.
Yeah.
If it's a plastic engineered.
Yeah. And you'll probably have to, they'll have to make, I'm not sure, I haven't looked at this, but a corrosion resistant screw. Because with all that composite woods and things, like you're going to have to think of some outside of the box areas to that to actually put it together.
I love it.
Which is neat. Like, and here we go, creating something new again. But it can withstand some moisture and temperature swings. And that's the good thing, because we're from Texas. We can have a 50-degree swing from morning to night, no problem. And guess what? It can swing right back. Weather can get crazy nowadays, and I feel like the swings are getting bigger and wider each and every year. So kind of that, but honestly, consider the long-term savings versus that initial investment cost. How long is that facility going to be there? How long is it going to be on the coast? All these things to figure out if it's worth the time and effort on the front end, because you've got to see what you're actually going to save. And is it worth the time and advancement or not? Is it something that you need for a long time or not? And we know all construction isn't just permanent. We do a lot of temporary structures, temporary things that we want to relocate, move later for different opportunities. So kind of keep these different things in mind. But honestly, there's some really cool new materials out there that can handle so much. Like the windows I was talking about, in dorms that are storm resistant. Like I've seen some of the commercials back before and the brutal weather testing that they do on the new windows and stuff that they've got now. Man, it's crazy at the extent they're going to nowadays, but they're doing it so that we don't have to deal with the issues, because broken windows during the middle of a storm, well, that leads to a lot of damage, things like that. So those investments like that, I think, are just smart choices, period.
I love it. I think you're right. And it's a big deal too. Successful ghost projects that utilize stuff like this, they're thinking ahead. Remember, I was interviewed to be on a TV show here a few months back, and they're like, what can you do? What ideas do you have that can help us improve the way we build things? And it's either for fires, for floods, or maybe oceanfront property, because guys, you got to build those for floods, hurricanes, but you also got to build for the weather. So neat stuff. Anybody who's thinking about doing what we do, look, we have grown on YouTube. We've grown 2 channels now. This one here just went over 28,000. Our other one just went over 670,000. So we have literally built channels with 700,000 followers now. And God, what are we at? Like 130, 150 million views. It's kind of crazy. But
Something like that.
all I can say is it's pretty cool. I love what we get to do. And the neat thing about it is, guys, I'm just a plumber. And when I first started this, I never thought that I would do this. I thought, you know what? We can make videos, but I never thought it'd be me on camera. And when people ask me how to grow their businesses and I tell them do YouTube, they're like, oh, I can't do that. And they've always got a list of reasons why they can't. So I made a webinar teaching them, hey, that's not true. You can do it. I can show you how to do it. And if you'd be interested in doing that, because to me, YouTube leads to every other social platform if you want it to. So if it's something you're interested in doing, go to www.justmattroger.com. It's a free webinar. And really, all I do is teach you that the thoughts that you have holding you back really aren't thoughts you should be worrying about. So go check it out. And if you do, let me know what you think about it.
That's it. And also, we would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And I say they, it's us right here. I build all the equipment. I build a probe, T-handle style. It's made out of a solid block of aluminum up top. The handle solid all the way through. It's got a strong stainless steel rod on it. And that stainless steel rod is durable for probing in and out of the ground. So this is what we prefer for that meter to the home service, any irrigation lines, things like that. Anything outdoors that's not under any concrete, we really prefer that probe. But if the line does run under the concrete and the leak's under there, so I always suggest the complete kit to everybody. It's also going to come with that sidekick. And the sidekicks are pistol grip style with an aluminum rod on it. That aluminum rod is a less dense metal, so it enhances the sound even more. And that's what we prefer when you're listening through concrete, because it pretty much just eliminates that layer of concrete that you're listening through. So always check out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. But also I do a 2-day in-person training, and you can come out. I'll walk you through. I've got a slab out there with 11 leaks under it. We'll go through line locating. Do that first so that you know where everything is under my slab. Then we'll go through and we'll start doing pinpoint locating the leaks under the slab themselves. I've got one just outside of the slab so that you can learn what an underground leak sounds like also without concrete above it. We'll use that probe some. And then I've got a couple sewer systems set up, a cast iron and a PVC. That way we can go through and teach you exactly how to do isolation testing in the mains, in the branch lines and everything, so you can determine exactly where a sewer line is leaking. If you want to reach out, give us a call, 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. But also, we can discuss the marketing and how you can add this service to your business, your website, and you can start getting the calls in your area for leak detection. So once again, give us a call, 1-8888-LEAK-PRO, or you can visit www.leak-pro.com.
Okay, so pretty neat stuff here. Let's talk about MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, because critical summer HVAC maintenance tips are something that can help save each and every homeowner money. But you also want to make sure that you're getting this stuff done by people that do it right. So we're going to talk about, first of all, about cleaning the condenser coils regularly. And Randy, we've seen people come out and spray them from the outside. We've seen people take them completely apart, spray down every inch of it until they look brand new.
That's it.
Big difference.
Huge difference, guys. And this is for anybody out there. Okay. We all have an AC unit at home. You may not have a condenser, and that's fine if you don't. Most of you are going to have one. For us, it's mowing time. It's really time to keep that condenser coil clean outside, and breaking it down all the way is the best way to do it to make it the most efficient it can be. Again, to keep that air cooler inside, you want everything working properly, which means it's all clean and in perfect working order. You also want to have somebody come out, occasionally and check your refrigerant levels and the pressures on your lines. Make sure everything's good, everything's right. One of the biggest ones, though, on this maintenance, guys, everybody should be doing change your air filters.
Mhm.
That is one of the most simple and basic things to do. If you don't know how to do it, look it up on YouTube. You can learn. Do this. Do some studying on the MERV ratings and things like that also, so that you know the right filter to get for the unit that you have. Because if you don't have a good enough unit and you go too high on a MERV, it's going to make that unit struggle harder to actually put that air into your space. So you're going to want to do a little research on the filters themselves also. But the major reason for all the maintenance guys and why you want to do it in your place and do it for all your customers if you're in HVAC, this is going to prevent unexpected downtime during peak cooling command. When it is 110 outside in Texas, you do not want your AC to go out or freeze up, because it's not a good day. If you're staying on top of everything, keeping everything clean and in proper working order, the odds of that happening go way down in comparison. So stay on top of taking care of your units, do your HVAC maintenance, because guess what? That's your comfort at your house. So make sure that you are taking care of it, and take care of it for your customers if you're in HVAC out there.
Okay, so y'all know that we're in the Bahamas, and we're going to talk about where the work is. And what I love about this is two of these cities we're going to talk about. We talked about last night with the deputy prime minister. So last night, Randy and I were with the prime minister of the Bahamas, the deputy prime minister, the attorney general of Utah, the gentleman who owns the lottery system in the Bahamas. Such a wonderful evening. And where the work is, top cities for construction job growth in summer of 2025, Austin, Texas, the deputy prime minister, they're trying to figure out how to grow the Bahamas and do things. They're looking at Austin. They're looking at the next one, Nashville, Tennessee. Tampa, Florida, they're not really worried about. No, I'm joking. Tampa, Florida is growing too. And we've actually met a lot of people here from Tampa. So it's a neat deal. It's easy to get here from Tampa. I mean, guys, it's like one flight, boom, you're over. Yes. But contractors should consider targeting bids or partnerships in those cities. If you're in Texas and you want to grow, reach out to contractors down in Austin. Say, hey, do y'all need any help down there? Because with everything booming the way it is, there's a lot of companies down there that can't handle the workload. So remember that. Austin, Nashville, Tampa, Florida, great stuff. And if you want to grow a business, guys, teaming up with another contractor sometimes is not a bad way to do it. Randy and I have both been on projects where it's a joint venture group, meaning, and it's a joint venture group in multiple ways. And what I mean by that is, Parkland Hospital that we worked on had 4 general contractors get together as a JV general contractor, to where they had enough manpower to do it. The mechanical, the MEP, 2 of the biggest mechanical contractors in Dallas got together, created a joint venture, and did that. So there's always ways and opportunities to do the things that you want to do. And like I said, we're down here in the Bahamas that they're looking at Austin, they're looking at Nashville, they're looking at things being done, saying, look, how do we do something like this downtown to make it a better tourist attraction, to make it a better place to hang out? And I got to tell you, the people here are nothing but amazing. The service at the restaurants, every restaurant we've been to, they've gone above and beyond. And I mean in ways that they would not back home. Yes. We walked in at 10:15 the other night. We had gone out with the group that we're in. We come back, we're hungry. So we walked into this restaurant here. We're at the Atlantis. We're staying in the Cove. And we literally, we walked in and sat down and said, hey, can I see the food menu? He said, the kitchen's closed. He said, they closed 30 minutes ago. And me and Randy both start to get up, and Randy's like, man, I'm out of here. I got to go find something to eat. He's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. He goes back in the kitchen, comes out a few minutes later and says, yeah, I can get you all your wings.
He gets hangry too, baby.
Yeah, he says, look, I get hangry. I know what you're talking about. He says, give me just a minute. And he goes back there and does it. So I want to tell y'all, to see what they're trying to do down here. I love it. And we're going to talk about it more in a minute. But that is where the work is. So, instructor training, the best methods for teaching complex technical skills. And Randy's probably had to learn things that are a lot more complex than I do. Me, I got into the residential fire protection systems. I got into lead AP. So there's a lot of stuff there that was way outside of my norm. But when you look at what Randy was doing with welding and pipe fitting, stuff like that, the best freaking way to learn it is hands-on.
Yes.
And I love the fact that, I don't know where Randy learned this, but when he'd walk on a job, they'd say, "This is the grumpy old man nobody wants to work with." Randy's like, "No, I want to work with him because that's who I'm going to learn the most from." But it is.
They have the most experience. They've done the most things. They've seen things that most of the guys have not on the job. So if you are a youngster out there, I always suggest that. And I got that a lot from my apprentices after I turned out and everything. I was running jobs and they're like, "Man, how did you get so good?" I said, "Honestly, see that old man that you're working with?" "Yeah." I said, "That is always who I would pick on a job. That man's going to let you do more than any of these other guys over here. They're getting old. They don't want to do it. They want your little young butt to get in there and go for it so that they don't have to. They are happy to teach you exactly what you need to do for the most part. You will get their bad days. I don't suggest those. They do kind of suck. But that's part of what you have to go
it's just part of it
to gain that level of knowledge. And that's one of the biggest things here. But hands-on demonstration is the most important. And that's what they would all kind of understand is once I showed them my hands-on experience and they saw it, they're like, "Oh crap, yeah, here, I'm just going to kind of turn you loose on this. You do know what you're doing." If they don't, that's fine. Let them try, but also give them a step-by-step walkthrough. There's so many visual aids and videos out there now you can pull up. Like we talk a lot about like new tools. You get that new apprentice. "Oh yeah, hey, grab that hammer drill, grab that bandsaw, go to work." Do they know how to use it? No? Okay, well, which brand is that? Look up and see if they've got a video for it. Make that apprentice watch it real quick. "Hey, look, here's everything that you need to know about it." Yeah, I understand it. I know it all. I'm not going to remember it the way the manufacturer is going to tell you to do it, though. So pull up their videos and let them watch it. Also, regularly test their skills through simulated job site scenarios. We talk a lot about companies and stuff that have trainers there that they can actually put their hands on it and try to do it without it actually mattering yet, because it's just a trainer. It's okay. Yeah, you tear it up, you break it, whatever. We'll redo it. It's okay. It's not a big deal. This isn't on a job. It's not an install. You're not at a customer's house. You're not setting the only toilet that you bought for that project, because you do that and you bust it. Guess what? You got to go get another one, guys. So that hands-on training, testing, practice. We were talking about that in training this morning. What's the key to everything? Practice, repetition, getting in your time and trying. And by doing a lot of hands-on training, this is how everybody gets their experience, because the more we actually do it, guess what? The better we actually get at doing it. So always do that. There's a lot of complex things that are more difficult. And like grinding. Okay. We think of that as being such a simple thing, which is really cool. But I had an apprentice that he's like, "Man, how do you grind so much faster than me?" Well, there's a perfect way to use a grinder when you're trying to do this or this. I do it different ways, different angles, apply different pressures depending on what I'm doing. And that's a very simple thing. Nobody would think it as being that complex, but honestly, there's different methods and techniques for each step of that process. Absolutely. So walk them through this, explain it, and guide them through. And that's just huge.
All right, let's roll over into specialty trades, trends in high-end flooring and tile specialties. Now, it was just a couple of weeks ago, I went out to Atlanta with Schluter Systems, And I got to tell you, their product is amazing. I'm wanting to learn more about it because of stuff that Randy and I are doing for some videos, but it's neat stuff. And did you see I sent you a text?
Yep, I'm working on that.
Okay, cool. We're going to do that for the question segment.
Perfect.
But anyway, trending materials, luxury vinyl plank. Now, this is cool because I'm telling you, the durability of this stuff is getting bigger and better, and it looks freaking amazing. And then large format porcelain and natural stone tiles. And we got to see a lot of this at the Schluter system at their training center in Atlanta. It was amazing. Actually, it's in Alpharetta. But then seamless indoor to outdoor flooring transitions. Guys, there's flooring that can go inside to outside, and you can't even tell that it's different flooring. It looks like it's all tied there together. And that is just neat. And one of the things that Schluter does amazingly, and this is not sponsored by Schluter, so y'all know, the heated floor systems. They're building one training facility. I think it's the one in Texas that has 23,000 square feet of heated floor. And that is pretty cool. But to be able to be there and see what they're doing, the systems that they have, how they're implementing it, how they're using it, it's pretty cool stuff. And I really enjoyed being there. I liked, they've literally got drains and the little wall, the leave out, the enclaves, the shelves, whatever you want to call them, that have lights in them. The drains have lights in them. There's some really cool stuff going on there. And I really did enjoy it. So learning how to be the high-end flooring guy, the specialty guy, the tile specialist that does it better than anybody else, pretty cool stuff.
That's it. And like what I threw this one in for, guys, our bathrooms here have this mirror that's actually mounted into the tile wall. The trim is all tile work. It's beautiful. And it's just like, man, if you are the guy that does that top end, something different, something most people aren't doing and goes above and beyond, you're going to stand out and people are going to want you to come do their installs. And there's so many things that you can do with tile. So I thought it was really cool.
All right, we're going to roll over into social media spotlight. Oh, wrong one. Let me end that one there and go back to here. We are going to share this one. There we go. Randy, why did you pick the Essential Craftsman?
Something different. You know, I feel like I've been saying that a lot today, but I like checking out new and different things. But just like you know, this is 40 plus years of experience, guys. And it's an all-in-one channel. You're going to learn house building, carpentry, construction, blacksmithing, safety, productivity. But guys, there were some really cool ones that I'd found. One from 11 days ago I thought was really interesting and it kind of intrigued me. What happens when you master guitar building? Now I know we build buildings and that's the main thing we do, but guess what? We like to build small things too.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning and we're going
in our shops and things like that. But I just thought it was really cool to think outside of the box, not just home building and the things that we do on the day-to-day basis, but how that trade and that craft can also lead to other things in life. You know, like a week ago, we were talking a bunch of pipe fitting and welding and stuff. And it's like, look, yeah, you can do that for a living. Well, guess what? Start building smokers on the side and start selling them if you want to. If you love doing it, start doing that. Then you can really create some cool, creative things. Your phone will blow up. And that's just a side business that ends up taking over your career, but it's by using all the skills that you love to do already. And I just thought that was really neat. And that's kind of what it seems like he's doing here. I feel like it was an old carpenter that was doing these home buildings and things like that. And it's turned into multiple aspects of life, the hobbies, the other things to build. And I just thought that was really cool to kind of show off.
And look at those thumbnails. Look, he's got great stuff. I like that, you know, up here we're talking skill saw. Over here we're talking building a brick wall, using a string line, tape measures. he's doing a lot of neat stuff. He even gets down into driving nails, plumbing, concrete. There's so many different things that he covers. Even the best work boots. So I mean, there's a lot of good stuff here. Now, some of these are old, but you know what? I'm under his most popular videos right now. But I mean, even go back and look at his oldest ones, 9 years ago. He's been doing this for
The
a while.
oldest ones. Yes, I like
Yeah.
the oldest.
And
Blacksmithing has
Uh,
always
oh.
intrigued me, but I love metalwork. So
Yeah,
You
forge
know.
bolt heads, how to use an anvil, all kinds of cool stuff here. And then look at what he's done here lately, all the new stuff, framing houses. It's like cheating. Man, anytime you learn good tips and tricks, it is like cheating. So all kinds of cool
And,
stuff
like,
here. I like that.
I was gonna say, and like something that we've talked about with some people since we've been here about YouTube and things like that. You know, they're like, "Oh, well, I started this channel, or here's what it was. I'm kind of thinking of going this route." Guys, this is just proof. Just start. You're going to start getting some engagement and some feedback from your audience, and that could lead you to another path of that same thing but different. You don't ever know. Get out there and get started on socials if that's something that you want to do. And I think it's really cool. Don't be scared to show off. And like a lot of people ask, "Oh, should I take this down?" No. Leave those
Right.
old videos. Leave them there. Why? So that people can go back and look later. Yeah, man, this isn't how he got started. He started on this stuff. Wow. Okay. Transformations are okay because guess what? We get older, things happen, life shifts, and you end up in the Bahamas for work. You know, you just never know what's going to happen.
Speaking of the Bahamas, do me a favor, pull those pictures up that I just sent you. We have actually got to do some pretty cool stuff since we've been here. Is it going to take you a minute? Because if so, I've got another thing I can do.
I am working it right here. I got a lot going here. Present, boom, right there. Share screen. This one, boom.
So want to jump into the comments while you're doing that? Okay. Okay, so here Randy is with the Deputy Prime Minister. Such a wonderful guy. And really enjoyed talking to him. I got to spend time with him last year, so it was a lot of fun. And there's Bill Walsh, who does training for Power Team, and he's the one who actually brought us here to speak, so that's cool. There is me and the owner of the lottery in the Bahamas
Here.
and the Attorney General from the state of Utah. And Sean, to hear him speak, it was really, really cool. But I'm telling you, both these men are doing fantastic things. So the rooms that we're in, the people we get to hang out was pretty cool. There's a picture of Randy with Sean himself. And then the next one, there is me and Randy with the Prime Minister of the Bahamas. So last night and for the past couple of days, we've got to hang out with the Utah Attorney General. We've got to hang out with the Prime Minister, and we got to hang out with the Deputy Prime Minister. And we get to do all this because of what we do and where we do it. But guys, this is where we're at. We are in the Bahamas. And I got to tell you, this has been such a great place to be. It is freaking beautiful down here. We are at the Atlantis Hotel. We stayed over in the Cove. I think everybody else is over in the Royal or the Tower or something. But this has just been so much fun. The service is what really blows my mind because it has been wonderful. Let's look at the pictures here. And man, I'm telling you, if you look at this place is wonderful. The food has been great. It's so beautiful around here. Now, we hadn't got to go deep sea fishing. That's probably what we should have booked this afternoon, Randy. But there's just so much beautiful stuff. Randy got to go snorkeling the other day. I'll see. Now look at this. That is what it's all about right there.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. But, you know, we've got to do some really cool stuff down here. And we get to do this because of y'all. I want to jump in the comments real quick. Kevin Hawthorne says, good morning from Facebook. Got you earlier. Abriquette says, I love Schluter's system. More clients of ours are requesting their shower pants. Man, if you haven't been over to Dallas for the training over there, Abe, you may want to think about it. That's something that me and Randy are going to go do together because of a project we're working on. And then Ashley says, one of my favorite videos of all time. And Ashley, I'm not sure which one you're talking about, but we've been talking about some good ones this morning. Guys, if you want to do what we do, all I can tell you is, look, I started YouTube 7 years ago. And I did it because I got tired of getting ripped off by marketing companies. If you own a company, or if you're even a plumber or HVAC tech, electrician, anybody like that, and you're thinking, you know what, one day I want to own my own company, I would tell you to start posting now. Start making videos now. Start growing now. Start growing your reach, growing your brand, growing your name. And I think the best way to do it is with YouTube. When I walked into a conference 7 years ago, the guy on stage said, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And I thought he was crazy. I shut my notebook, put my hand on the chair next to me, and started to raise up and leave. And as I turned around, I saw the back of the room was standing room only. So I turned back around and looked up in time to hear him say, and it's owned by Google, the largest search engine in the world. So I took 3 pages of notes in the next 45 minutes. And 1 month later, I started doing YouTube. Now, my business was struggling. My business was falling apart. So I knew I had to do something. And jumping in, learning YouTube, learning how to do it right really did make a big difference. And since then, with what we've done, I've had people reach out to me and say, will you teach me how to do YouTube? Or they say, look, I want to do it, but I can't. I don't have the right equipment. I don't have enough followers. I'm not getting enough views. Guys, all that is just mind trash. That's all it is. If you will get the right mindset, you can do anything, including YouTube. So if this is something you're interested in, what I want you to do is go watch a webinar that I made. The webinar is free. It's not going to cost you anything. The webinar is at www.justmattroger.com. And if you'll go check that out, I really think it can change your mind. It can help change your attitude and make you think, look, this really is something that I can do. I'm in a room here with the entrepreneurs yesterday in the Bahamas, and so many came up to me after I talked and said, look, I know I need to do YouTube. I want to grow, and YouTube is the way to do it. So if this is something you think you're interested in, like I said, go to www.justmattroger.com and check it out. Squirt, tell us a little bit about Leak Pro.
That's it. And guys, if you are a plumber out there, that's the reason that I do Leak Pro. My whole family's plumbers, guys. And one thing I remember growing up was, yep, this leak detection guy done stole this job again. I'm going to have to quit requesting this guy because every time I send him, he ends up just taking the job. Guys, leak detection isn't hard. It's a process. It takes a little bit of patience and listening to find the leak. But guys, at Leak Pro, we build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. Our equipment's very user-friendly. You have the equipment. You have one wire up to the headphones. It's push-button activation to actually turn it on to listen. And the only adjustment on the whole thing is the volume knob on the headphones. I always suggest the complete kit. It comes with both pieces of equipment that we build. That's the probe and the sidekick. And that covers the probes for your outdoors, that meter to the home service, that sidekicks for your indoors. It's got the aluminum rod. Anytime you're listening through concrete, you're going to want that sidekick. But also, I love the sidekicks because it screams the sounds. So when you go through and you're actually listening to angle stops in a house, you can quickly determine, oh man, this one and that one are making the most noise. So I know it's the line that's connecting the two. So check out our equipment, as you can see there at www.leak-pro.com. But also, guys, I do a 2-day in-person training where you can come out. I've got a facility just outside of Dallas, Texas, and I will teach you how to locate lines, pinpoint locate leaks under a slab, outside of a slab, even determine where a sewer system is leaking by sewer isolation testing. And we teach you exactly how to do that from that double clean out outside. You can test every single part of that sewer system and isolate everything to determine which branch line and everything is leaking under a home. So give us a call. Let's talk about some training. 1-8888 Leak Pro. And guys, we're going to help make your phone ring just like we help make ours ring. So give us a call, visit the website, check out the equipment, www.leak-pro.com, or give us a call at 1-8888 Leak Pro. That's it.
Guys, thank y'all so much for being here. Thank y'all for allowing us to do what we do. Like I said, we're in the Bahamas. As soon as I'm done here, I'm going to throw on a pair of shorts. I am through working for this part of the week. So it's time to get something to eat, see if the sun shines out. It looks like it is. And maybe enjoy another day and a half here in the Bahamas. So thank y'all for being here. If you've already subscribed, like I said, ring the bell so you get notified every time we go live, which is 11 o'clock Eastern time.
That's it, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for coming. Hope to see you back here tomorrow. Get out there and hit it effing hard because you know we're going to. Bye, guys.
And whatever you do out there today, do it safe and have fun. Bye, guys.